Growing up in the 90s, there were many things at the time that had a significant impact on me. Tiny Toons, Batman the Animated Series, Nicktoons, the whole Extreme fad, just to name a few. But then there's what this game pays tribute to, the Power Rangers. Developed by indie group Behold Studios for PC, Mac and Linux, Chroma Squad is a loving tribute to Saban's flagship property and the many forms of source material from which it is derived. Now, Chroma Squad is a tactical turn-based strategy game with RPG elements, in the same vein as XCOM, and offers up the same level of tactical depth if not more of it. Taking a Sentai team of 6, the game utilizes a mission-based structure which act as episodes in a season of a show that you are producing, where your squad starts the fight as regular people and then later morph into their more powerful Sentai forms. This adds a tactical edge as your squad can soften up enemies before morphing into their stronger forms with all their health recovered, better attack damage, and not to mention special abilities. Each squad member fills a specific role in combat which functions as a character class, healer, techie, etc. And like XCOM, combining the different abilities and attacks of your squad can actually be the key to defeating enemies and completing missions. But where Chroma Squad differentiates itself from Enemy Unknown and similar games is with mission-specific objectives. Every mission comes with 2 optional objectives, like defeat all the turtle men in 2 turns, alongside the standard defeat all enemies, and this adds a nice extra layer of challenge. Not only that, but certain missions also come with specific modifiers, like temporary extra squad members, no morphing, and these can really throw the player off in a great way, and keep the challenge consistent. Though it can be quite hard and challenging, but when you get into the right groove of things, it becomes fairly easy, but thankfully the challenge never loses too many of its teeth. Strategy also branches out beyond just the combat and missions. There is another form of gameplay, but I'm going to touch on that later. Now, believe it or not, Chroma Squad does have a story, but it's really just an inconvenience in between the awesome gameplay. All it really does is just give context. Your squad is made up of stunt actors who, after being annoyed by the director Dr. Soap, go off to form their own tokusatsu studio, which you are free to manage and customize as you see fit. From here, you manage and customize almost everything. Want to name your studio after a bodily fluid? Go for it! Want to name your mech after a wrestler? Yes, you can! Want to have your squad shout out, "Killing time"? You betcha! It's also where you buy and craft squad equipment, as well as upgrades and temporary modifiers that help keep your show on the air, because if you don't do too well in the ratings, you're gonna get cancelled. Now, gameplay and story aside, Chroma Squad is just beautiful. The cheap 16-bit sprites are wonderfully animated, playing into the 90s nostalgia, and the soundtrack is just great, really getting into the fun spirit of Sentai, and not only that, but this has one of the best opening themes I've heard since Metal Gear Solid 3. Just take a listen. Cutscenes function as prologues and epilogues to each mission, but because the story is so dismissible, they just annoy by forcing you to wait a little while longer to play the next mission. Thankfully though, you can fast forward them, so it's not too big a deal. And then there's the mech fights. They're disappointing. Acting as the climactic boss fights with giant monsters, these don't play like XCOM. The mech fights are one-on-one fights that combine luck and turn-based strategy. Not that they play like that. How it's supposed to work is that you choose to either attack normally, or with a special attack, or defend. Your turn ending when an attack misses, or if you start defending. Every time you hit the boss, you receive a damage multiplier and a lower chance of hitting next time. But if you keep the multiplier going and then decide to defend, you receive a larger defense bonus, automatically reducing damage taken from all attacks until it's your turn again. But if an attack misses, then your turn ends and you're going to take full damage. Despite this setup though, I swear there are some bosses where every 3rd or 4th normal attack will just miss, making the fights more punishing than they need to be. And it just feels like these fights weren't properly balanced. As soon as you run out of health, the game just lets you keep going, using up your valuable fan power in its place, thus costing you potential modifiers for later episodes. It just feels like a possible last-minute change Behold implemented due to time constraints. Those issues aside, Chroma Squad is a wonderful love letter to all things Power Rangers and Sentai. Its tactical depth is easily on par with major strategy games, and has just as much to offer the curious onlooker as it does fans of Saban's Power Rangers. And with the sales happening on Steam right now, this is a definite must-buy.